Hi everyone, this is the weekly overview of what happened this week as far as fundamental analysis and news being released. This is of course Forex Factory here, and actually below I have some other resources that I like to use too, just to gather information and read. I read their articles and look there. But anyway, let's take a look at some news from this week, just a couple of the major events. Monday, nothing red tag really except for Bernanke speaking, but it didn't have anything to do with economic policy. It was a speech that was released. Tuesday, some Australian news. That was looked forward to, because although it was expected to stay the same, the cash rate, the inflation rate, was expected to be the same, there was so much expectation of it staying the same that if there was deviation, it could have really moved the market. So eyes were on that, but it was the same. It did stay the same, and we see the Australian dollar overall recently being bullish. Even today, I looked at the chart maybe a half an hour ago. It looked like it hit some lower levels today, but the last 4-hour bar seemed like it was bringing it on back. So that's the Australian dollar, I should have clarified. But the dollar is looking pretty bullish recently too. Some good news being released. So that's definitely a trade to keep your eyes on, because the Australian dollar is hitting some resistance too. If it breaks through that, it could definitely continue in that bullish trend. Anyway, also we had some good Canadian news on Tuesday. Going to Wednesday, Governor Marvin King spoke for the United Kingdom, and that was pretty big because he renounced the idea of another interest rate cut, but he did speak favorably of the QE program. And then later in the day, Wednesday, we had some bullish Australian news and China news, which is also good for the Australian dollar, as you know. Then Thursday, we had some more good dollar news. The non-farms last week was very bullish for the dollar, and then Thursday we had the trade balance, which was great. It was like less than 5 billion more than expected, and then the unemployment claims were also good. So recently we've seen a bullish dollar the past 3 or 4 days against the euro. You can see that. And then Friday, today, this morning, for the Canadian red tag news, we had some really bad news for the Canadian dollar. For the employment change, it was expected to be, you see here, positive 9.6 thousand, but it was actually negative 30.4 thousand. So if you were looking at the charts, you did see the reaction from that, and that was obviously not good for Canada. But so keep an eye on the blog here. Monday we'll have a weekly overview of what's going on next week, and below I do have, like I said, some sources that I like to look at, and some other great avenues to receive fundamental analysis. So check that out and leave any questions or comments you may have, and have a great weekend.